Welcome into ACC Baseball Etc, presented as always by our friends at Pitch Logic, the system used by players, coaches, scouts, and instructors at all levels of play, from youth leagues to the big leagues. The easy-to-use and affordable technology makes the platform accessible to every player at every level. All the metrics and features used at the highest level. Go to pitchlogic.com for more information. I'm Daron Vaught. I'm joined by not one, but two guests today representing the Duke Blue Devils. Sophomores now at Duke, AJ Gracia and Kyle Johnson, couple of standouts for the Blue Devils a season ago. This is fun. We don't do this much with like two teammates on at the same time. So I appreciate you guys doing this. How's fall ball going? I guess we'll start there. AJ, you go first.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty good. I feel like we start a little bit later than most, so we're kind of just starting to get ready, like scrimmaging, stuff like that. We're playing NC State on Friday, and then I think Charlotte next week, so it starts to ramp up for us a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, started off pretty late, but it's been fun getting to know the rest of the team. I mean, half the guys are new, so it's cool building that culture for the rest of the team.
Yeah, so this is kind of the introduction. I mean, you guys know the newcomers before this, but this is, I mean, is it fair to say the first like real chance you get to see them play and really get to know, okay, what we're dealing with so-and-so and so-and-so coming in?
Yeah, I mean, it's even tough too because you have that period of like indies and those 8-hour weeks. So it's like you're really only working with small groups. So even the first, like, I don't even know, month, like, yeah, we're all working out and stuff, but you still don't see. I mean, I've seen like the outfielders and some of the pitchers, but that's about it. So like this first like week and a half of team stuff, it's kind of interesting to see, you know, everyone out there together, start to build some cohesiveness.
Yeah. And KJ, is it double for you at this time of year too? Like you're working with multiple groups because you're a two-way guy, pitching and hitting and playing the field?
Yeah, AJ and I both do a little switch on and off from outfield and on the mound. So yeah, we work a lot with the outfield guys, and then go head over and work out with all the pitchers. So I mean, it's cool to get to know like everyone else on the team because we have more opportunities to meet some different guys earlier than some other people. So it's cool.
Hold on, KJ, did you just break some news about, is AJ, are you going to throw a little bit this year? Is that what he just said?
Well, I technically was a two-way last year too. I mean, that was kind of our like, I guess you could say safety net if we like ran out of guys. I know there were a few times last year where I had to warm up just in case we kind of ran out of guys. I know when we were at Virginia Tech, we used like, I don't even know, like 12 guys on Sunday. So I was warming up to go in. And I was supposed to get a start last year against Charleston, I think.
Yeah,
Charleston, but I ended up getting rained out. So I haven't made my debut yet, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens this year.
Okay, I don't even know that I realized that. Is that like in the plans? I don't want you guys to overstep what the coaching staff has in mind or anything, but like, is that in the plans, AJ?
I mean, I guess. I mean, there's no secrecy. I mean, I just didn't really throw last year. It's not like they really needed me to throw. I mean, our pitching staff was really good last year, so it's not like they really needed me. I was really, like I said, just more of a safety net if we came into a situation where we just ran out of guys. Like I probably would have been out there. So yeah, I mean, I pitched a lot in high school. So
right, yeah. And that I knew. I just I don't know. I was under the impression that you were you know, not a two-way. I don't remember seeing you listed on an official roster as a two-way either last year. I think
I don't know if I wasn't. Maybe
you might have been, and I just missed it. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. I just wanted to, you know me, just ask the good follow-ups, right? I don't want to miss anything. Don't want to just like gloss over anything if it's a big deal. So that would have been kind of a big deal if it's like, oh yeah, he's in the rotation or whatever, you know. All right, so NC State at Durham Bulls Athletic Park on Friday. This is kind of a – do you guys get up for stuff like this? I mean, it's a low-key time of the year with the fall. It's a lot of playing against each other. you guys hitting against each other in some cases, I'm sure, and that sort of thing. This is a look at not just another team opposite you. I mean, this is a look at a team that you're going to see in conference play, potentially in a conference tournament setting. How big of a deal is this kind of a game?
I mean, it's always fun to go out and play another ACC team, especially if they're 15, 20 minutes down the road. I mean, NC State fans always roll out. You saw last year. I'm not sure how many people were there last year, but it was pretty packed for a fall game. So it's a fun environment. It's really cool to see the team and how they play against different competition.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's always fun to like play someone else, especially when you're kind of just playing against each other for a while. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's more of we're kind of like looking at ourselves too. I mean, kind of see what we have going on. I mean, the fall, at the end of the day, it's just a fall game. I mean, it's kind of hard to make judgments on teams and stuff after, you play two scrimmages against other teams, you know what I mean? So it's really just kind of seeing what we got and trying to evaluate ourselves and what we need to work on going forward.
Yeah. I saw you guys a bit over the summer with the Collegiate national team. You guys were both on I'm trying to get the name right, the Summer Collegiate Tour team, I think is what you guys were called. It was one of the two collegiate teams. Starting with you, AJ, what was that experience like? And I guess, is it something that you had like circled as a collegiate player, right? I mean, I don't know how many guys really sort of prioritize that as a goal, but just with my time with USA Baseball over the years, I've come to find out that there's a good number of them that they get to their college program, and that's something that they talk about deliberately, wanting to be on a collegiate national team.
Yeah, I mean, well, first, to answer your first question, yeah, it was great. It was a great experience. I mean, I had a lot of fun, especially since you're kind of, I mean, obviously we're in the ACC, so seeing some of like the other guys like Drew, Luke Stevenson, Henry Ford, like playing with them is pretty cool. But then also seeing all the SEC guys that we really don't cross paths with throughout the year is pretty cool. So obviously playing with some of the best guys in the country all on one team is really fun. And then as far as like a goal to make it, yeah, it's always a goal. I mean, I honestly didn't really know a ton about it coming into college. So again, it wasn't like a big focus for me. At the end of the day, I'm here to like just win games. So that was really my main focus at the time.
KJ, what was it like for you?
Like AJ said, it was a great experience, and getting to play with those amazing players and getting to know them better on a personal level when we usually just get to play against them when we actually get to be on the same team as them. It's really cool to like build that friendship. And I mean, yeah, I think it was a goal for me, but honestly just wanted to take it day by day once I got on campus. So I didn't really focus on it too much.
You guys are typical Chris Pollard players, so process oriented. I love it. I love it. He would be proud of those answers. Well, tell me this about the collegiate national team. Again, because I've gotten to see it from my vantage point so often, I'm always amazed at, you talk about getting to interact with other players, practice and play with other players, but you guys are kind of microwaved as a team, right? It's you're together for like a week before you start competing against, in your guys' case, it was the Appalachian League All-Stars, the Coastal Plain League Select, teams like that. Do you find yourself like trying to pick up on things that other guys do well, not from a competitive standpoint in terms of like getting the better of them later, but you're like, maybe that's something I could try? How much of that happens when you're, in BP with the collegiate national team and you see somebody do, some kind of leg kick and you're like, that's a timing mechanism that maybe I could try out? Did you guys like mess with anything new in that regard?
I mean, yeah, I feel like, especially in baseball, you're always changing something. So I think it was definitely a good way to learn, especially with guys that are at such a high level. Just kind of see different skill sets, different philosophies. So yeah, like, I mean, I would definitely say one of the biggest takeaways for me is you just learn a lot, especially like from one of the players and also like the coaches that are there. I mean, you have some legendary coaches that were coaching our team for that, 10 days. So yeah, I would say probably the most important takeaway from it is honestly just learning stuff from other people.
Yeah. I mean, if you're playing with a bunch of players that play at the highest level, I mean, you should really just be focusing in on what everyone else does, picking up little things, because they learn stuff from different places all over the country. So, yeah.
KJ, let me go back to you on this. Being with some of the pitchers there, did you see a pitch that you liked so much that you thought maybe I'll try it? I'm thinking of, what, actually, it's funny you guys are playing NC State this week because Derek Smith showed me his slider there. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but his like older brother who's a football player taught him how to throw it apparently. And he does, it's like I think he may do it with his middle two fingers. If not, it's his index and his middle finger. And he just like, it's just like he just overlaps them like that. And it's not a slider grip at all. At all. And he's like, yeah, no, that's just the way I throw it. And then, you snap it and, you sort of tunnel it like a slider. And I'm just like, Derek, that's a really good pitch, but that's a terrible way to throw it. Right? It's like, yeah, but it works. So I keep doing it, So I'm just curious, like, did you find anything like that?
Not really. I mean, I feel like most pitchers there just move a little bit differently than each other. So, I mean, like you said, that pitch right there, I mean, I'll probably try it after this call, maybe tomorrow, but I mean, it's probably not going to work. But yeah.
It's actually funny. It's actually funny you mentioned this breaking ball because we were talking about it. This was like recently about how like his breaking ball is probably the best breaking ball I saw last year.
Well, that's what I told him. I was like, Derek, do you realize like this might be the best pitch in the ACC? Like it's up there. It's in the conversation. And you're showing me how you're throwing it. And it makes zero sense.
So when we faced him last fall, I faced him. And he struck me out. And I remember thinking, like, I saw his breaking ball. Obviously, that was the first time I saw other collegiate pitching besides, obviously, the other guys on my team.
Yeah.
I was like, is this what it's going to be like every game? And no, well, I mean, that was just pretty much the best breaking ball that I probably saw all year.
Yeah. That's a good reminder, AJ, that you guys last year were true freshmen on this team.
Yeah.
So the collegiate baseball experience was new to you. And so let me ask this. It's a very general question, but we'll go AJ and then Kyle. Just what was your favorite experience of your first season with Duke? So we'll exclude the collegiate team. Last year, the entirety of the season, just taking it all in. It's your first year of college baseball. What was the best part?
I mean, this was late in the year, but I would just say the whole week of the ACC tournament was just super fun. I mean, obviously the outcome was good for us, but obviously that was my first taste of like postseason baseball in college, and there's just really nothing like it. I mean, there's just a different type of intensity, and just the way you go about like playing those games. Just I don't know what it is, but there's just something different about it. And it was just super fun. And obviously it made it better that we ended up coming away with the trophy. But I would say just that whole week of the ACC tournament was just awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. Just the atmosphere there was absolutely unreal. So that was just a great experience. And also being there like that whole time with the rest of the team in like the hotel and walking around Charlotte and taking everything in, going to watch the other games. It was just a really fun experience.
That's one of my favorite. So, by the way, that's a perfectly fine answer. I'm on the record many, many times over saying that week is like one of my favorite weeks of the year, no matter where it is, no matter who wins, whatever. That's maybe my favorite part of it is, and you guys get this to a different degree than I do. But I cover every team, so I get to know people from every team and sort of on the outskirts of every team. And you just see everyone that that is associated with these teams when their team's not playing, especially when it's in Charlotte, because it's like everybody's walkable to the park. You just see everybody out and like there watching the other teams play. It's just like to me, it's a very cool, like communal thing. And it's, it puts the cap on the season for the conference play. And there's always, of course, us nerds in the press box talking about, okay, who's going to get into a regional and who's not. And there's all that. Like, it's fun. It's fun. Mm-hmm. And I know you guys nerd out on that sort of stuff too, just maybe not as intently because you've got games to play, right? You just got to worry about that. So that's good. What was the biggest, I don't know that either of you really had a welcome to college baseball moment that comes to mind for me. But if one sticks out, for sure volunteer that. What was the biggest like learning curve for each of you? So let's start with Kyle. You look like you might have more of a clue. AJ's thinking.
I would say mine probably started in the fall, freshman year, with the Live Aid Bees. I got hit around a little bit, and it was tough. It was tough. I was kind of questioning if all the hitters were going to be like this. They were just teeing off of me, so it was a little difficult. But I mean, there's always a few games throughout the year that reminds you that everyone else is just as talented or almost just as talented. So I mean, I feel like you always get humbled a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say it was also the fall. I mean, I think won 100 last fall. So I mean, just the whole fall as a whole was just pretty brutal for me as a hitter. It's also, I mean, it's a good learning experience though, because with how good our staff was too, like facing those guys all fall and all preseason. I mean, I couldn't have been like more prepared for the actual season start. And then, I mean, I actually did pitch a lot last fall, and my first live outing, Chad Knight took me like 440 feet into the trees. So that was probably for the few innings I did pitch, that was probably my welcoming.
Okay, so I do want to take this to a place that is sort of a nitty-gritty baseball conversation. Okay, so stay with me. AJ, you talked about not being able to hit a certain breaking ball, right, in fall ball. Okay, you got knocked around a little bit. Kyle, same thing. But then you guys have the seasons that you have, and it just strikes me that guys in your position, like, be honest, you guys didn't struggle much in high school. Like, it just didn't happen a lot, right? It happened by nature of what the game is, but in terms of, AJ, you're not hitting 100 your senior year of high school. Like, that's just not a thing. What was it like adjusting to failure at a higher rate and overcoming that to some degree? Because, like, look, that's what this game is. Right? You guys are going to do it to some extent this year. It's just, that's the game, right? Is being able to bounce back from that more consistently than the other guy or the other guys. How mentally did you guys deal with that? AJ, you start.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me, a lot of it is just like taking away little positives, even when I did slump throughout the year, because I did have them. I mean, it happens to everyone. Like, as far as even if I play a good swing and the ball, it's an out. Like, a lot of times you can just get pissed off because you're out. But if I'm 1 for my last 10, I haven't hit the ball hard. I mean, all right, I hit the ball hard. You know what I mean? Just take that positive away and then just kind of build off of it. Especially with how good like defense is now too. I mean, I feel like there are a lot of times I was scorching balls and you just can't find the hole, and that's just the nature of it. So I think just taking away small positives to just kind of not like almost like trick yourself, honestly. Like even if you're feeling not bad at the plate, like just take away some sort of positive from it.
I mean, I would say the same thing, but for me, I would honestly think of myself like as an athlete as a whole, not as a pitcher and then a hitter. So if I had a bad day at the plate, I wanted to focus on the positive I had on the mound, vice versa, and sort of take those positives and ingrain that in my head so I'm not too down on myself. But I mean, in the beginning of the year, I was hitting a lot better than I did at the end of the year. But I mean, I think towards like the very last few games, I think that I sort of just had to realize that it's still a game and we're out here just trying to have fun and win games and just be with the rest of our team and have fun. So I think that's also a big part of it, just having fun, realizing that's just a game.
AJ, I love that, Kyle. AJ, did you experience a little bit of that too? Because you guys understand the sort of the circuit when you're sophomore, junior, senior in high school. You're trying to impress, and you can put yourself in situations where you put more pressure than is needed on yourself. Did you, AJ, have sort of a similar epiphany where it was like, hey, maybe I'm still stuck in a little bit of that and not sort of understanding that, 3 years ago I would have killed to be in the lineup in a Division I game and playing in the ACC. And I'm just curious how tense did you begin your freshman year, and how much did that loosen up?
I honestly think I was able to be pretty loose a lot of the year just because I did have such a terrible fall. Like I wasn't really like when the fall was all set and done, like I wasn't exactly expecting myself to like have the role that I did. Obviously I was still working super hard to like win that spot, but it wasn't something that I was like really expecting, honestly. So, and I was just trying to, like Kyle said, just kind of take it day by day and just enjoy every moment, just because like when the season's over, like it sucks. I mean, and then you have to wait however many months to have that same kind of enjoyable feeling again. So I think just kind of taking it day by day and just enjoying even like the stuff that sucks about it. Like when you are 1 for 10, like at the end of the day, like you're playing baseball with like your best friends. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's great perspective. Since you both pitched and hit last fall and are still, I guess, doing it to some degree now, or even over the summer with the collegiate team, how often have you guys like faced each other in more of like a game scenario, even if it's like an inter squad or one of the exhibitions, Stars and Stripes type things?
I think the last time we faced each other was in the fall of last year, and I think we both got an AB or a few ABs off one another. So yeah.
Okay. How'd that go? Is there like a decisive leader right now in that series?
Yeah, I would say it's probably him. Honestly, he's beating me. I think I'm like 0 for 3 against you, and you're like 1 for 3 against me or something like that.
I don't know.
I think, yeah, I would definitely say right now Kyle is winning.
Who maybe other than Kyle? You mentioned the loaded pitching staff that you guys had last year and you were hitting against in the fall. AJ, who blew you away the most? As like you're new to college baseball, you step up kind of hunky dory. You're like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna have it at bat, and it's like, boom. I don't know if it was like Tuch's slider wiping you out or what. You know what I mean? Like, what was the most daunting?
I would say like the obvious answer is obviously like Tuch. I mean, he has great stuff. I mean, he's obviously nasty, but I'm also going to say David Boivay. I mean, he was so nasty this whole season. I feel like he kind of went under the radar. I mean, he was running up to like 97, 98, like bowling ball sinkers. And it's also just like a lot coming at you with his motion. And he was always just, even like lefty against righty, like he was always just a super tough at bat for me. I just never really saw him well. So I would say he was probably one of the tougher guys that I faced probably all fall last year for sure.
Kyle, same? Or you have somebody else in mind?
I would say the same. I mean, the obvious answer is Tooch, but I would say David Voivet and Jimmy Romano. Like AJ said, David Voivet, he has like one of the smoothest like motions, mechanics, like of pitching that I've seen. And it's just like so smooth and like slow that when like the ball comes out of his hand, like you're not ready for it. So yeah, it's a tough AB. And then Jimmy, he's probably has the grossest slider I've seen so far. So those were two really tough ABs in the fall last year.
What about from the opposite end? On the mound, was there somebody last fall that you just like did not want in the batter's box?
I'm trying to think of the hitters. I mean, Ben Miller was always tough to pitch to. And Tyler Albright always did well off me. I didn't really get him out a whole lot, like the whole fall when I did pitch. So I would say he was always a tough guy to get out.
Honestly, I can't even remember like the ABs. Like I honestly can't remember my outings in the fall. I think I was so focused on hitting that I was just out there having fun when I was pitching. So I don't really remember. But I mean, I would just have to say probably Ben Miller too, because he has some of the most ridiculous hand-eye coordination skills I've ever seen. This ball barrel to contact is just ridiculous. So it's hard to get something by him.
You guys in those answers have named some guys who, of course, are also back this year. It's early in the fall. Has anybody like really like turned some heads with, wow, okay, he was not like that in the spring?
I mean, I would say, Tyler Albright's having a really good fall, and he's just like such a good all-around player. We saw him too. He was on the Coastal Plain League select team when we played in the summer, and he beat us up pretty bad. Honestly, he had a double. I think he had 2 hits, and then he's carried it over to the fall. He looks just really good right now, just all around in the game, fast, strong, swinging it well, playing great defense. So I think he's going to have a really good year this year.
Yeah, I would say the exact same thing. He had a really good summer, and he's brought it back to the fall. So I mean, he's doing a really good job, and I'm excited to see what he does in the spring. It's gonna be cool.
What about of the new guys? I don't need to get in trouble for like you guys putting unnecessary pressure on a teammate or two, but who really stands out amongst the newcomers? And you could include transfers. I guess that sort of takes away the pressure part of the conversation.
Yeah, I'll go with the transfer. I think Ben Rounds, he hits the ball so hard. That's just something that from the first day I saw him hit, that was just like, oh my Lord. Like there's not many people I've seen hit the ball as hard as him, like consistently. So I'm just really excited to see him like this spring, because I think he's going to hit a lot of home runs.
That's another, by the way, another first team all Ivy League guy going to Duke transfer.
Yeah. I was going to say he hit like 400 or 410 last year at Art, like this, like ridiculous
30 or something.
Yeah, it's like he had a ridiculous year last year. So I'm excited to watch him this year. He should be really fun to watch.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the pitcher transfer, Ryan Calvert. He is disgusting. I faced him one time so far this year in one of our scrimmages, and it was electric stuff, and I'm really excited to see what he can do in the spring.
Okay, Ryan Calvert, formerly of UNC Wilmington. That's a good one also. You guys, I mean, there's a lot of really impressive new guy transfers that headed your way. So that's cool. That's fun. Thanks for indulging me on that. I know with freshmen, I know anyone on the coaching staff would not have dared say, oh, AJ and Kyle, they're going to do big things for us last year. So I get it. You don't want to put that pressure on a freshman, but no, people should be really excited about those transfers. What do you guys feel like you've gotten like markedly better at going into your sophomore years compared to as freshmen? AJ, you want to go first?
Personal or as a team?
Oh, you. I'm talking about you. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard to like tell, just because I haven't really had that many live at bats and stuff yet. But for me, like the biggest thing that I've kind of worked on or tried to work on is just cutting down strikeouts. Which is like, I mean, I punched out like, I don't know, like 55, 60 times this year, which like, I mean, for me it felt like a lot. So definitely want to cut down on that, especially since when I was swinging, like I was putting the ball in play with pretty good exit velo. So, I mean, I don't want to be striking out and wasting opportunities. So,
I would say probably not more of a mechanical thing, but I would say sort of just slowing the game down. I mean, I'm sort of a fast-paced guy when I play. So, I mean, slowing the game down a little bit and making it easier on myself.
Yeah. Okay. And what's that? How does that include, or what does that include for you?
I mean, I feel like sometimes I get a little too amped up when I'm either on the mound or at the plate. So, I mean, calming down a little bit, taking my breaths, making sure I'm going through my and making sure I'm going through my process and not really getting sped up.
Got it. Okay. Was there a point last year at which you kind of that the light bulb turned on? It was like, maybe I'm a little hyped for this. Yes. Okay. That means there's one. That means there's one.
I have one in my head that I think he's going to say, but let's see.
So when we were playing Florida State, it was a game. So that was a very intense game. I feel like throughout, I think I pitched like into the 5th inning. For the first like 4 innings, I was probably like 90, 92. And then BK, our pitching coach, was telling me that this was the last inning and just try to keep us in the game and get off the field. And like something clicked. I don't know what it was, but I was like 95, 96 that inning and just like basically growling on the mound. But I mean, I feel like I just sometimes need to just I think it's good for me to get that competitive like fight out, but sometimes I feel like it's useful to just be in the moment and not really get yourself sped up.
So wait, I don't remember this game. Did he go haywire after that, AJ? It's because that sounds good to me, right? Like, if you know you've got 1 inning left, just like lean in, right?
Yeah, I mean, he could tell the rest of it, but I knew this was the direction we were going in with this story. So, I mean, that's you can finish out.
I mean, I won't say too much more about it, but ended up not really.
It went off the
outcome that I wanted.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I couldn't remember that game when you mentioned it, so I'll have to go back and look and put 2 and 2 together myself. But I get it. I get what you're talking about. All right. This has been good. I appreciate you guys. Great to see you again. I hope that you got like a little bit of time to just kind of chill between summer ball and now. And now obviously you've got school worked in with baseball. So hope that goes well. Best of luck with everything. Good luck Friday. And next Friday, I'll see you guys. I'll be there in Cary when you guys play Charlotte. So I'll see you guys then. Probably come down and say, hey, bug you for a little bit. But stay out of the way mostly. So you know me. But anyways, no, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate the time, and best of luck, getting better this fall and going into the spring. All right.
Cool.
I
Appreciate
you having us on.
Yeah, thank you.